Ah, man, it's another week, it's another Saturday, and it's another wonderful group of friends. So thank you, everybody, for joining this evening. Great to have you here. Love the chats.
What up?
What's going on, fellas?
Just struggling to open my drink.
Chilling.
Feel you. That's that. I go for the pop tops, can by can. That's my way to do.
Today might be a double energy drink kind of day.
Uh-oh. Is it 6 yet? An hour ago here.
That's what I was wondering. I'm not sure if Time Capsule is referring to a game being 6 years old or it being a certain time, because that timestamp came in at 6:46 p.m. by my calculations here. Possibly. But that's because we were going live for 7 p.m. Eastern, Bob. They were ready for us. It was great to have an audience here when we arrived. Yes, that's right. Saturdays at 7 p.m. we go live. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And if you wanna hit us up in the comment section, we got that turned on this evening. So let us know what you feel.
I'm actually kind of hoping we have low viewership tonight.
Yeah, I gotta say, honestly, it really surprised me how popping off last week's episode was.
Well,
I spent half the time turning off those Russian bots.
Because you know what tonight is.
Nope. What's tonight?
As a man who misses a lot of anniversaries, what is it?
It's release night.
Oh, hot dang. Actually, that is a great point. Yeah, they're doing a pre-release weekend for Aether Drift. Wow.
So hoping that a low attendance means that Magic's doing very well. Uh-oh. Is my camera stalled or is that just me?
It's definitely having a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. At any rate, hoping that we have people out there playing Magic and missing our show, showing that it's still vibing and healthy, unlike Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, I am honestly surprised that it has lasted as long as it has. The style of gameplay, it really can only be done in person. And nowadays, there's been such a huge shift to electronic entertainment playing, the different ways that people can engage with it. And there was never really a good client, even as far as a spell table experience for people to play Flesh and Blood. So, I mean, it continues to struggle on. I mean, Matt, you're a bit closer to the game than myself. What's your opinion on it?
I'm still waiting for the PvE.
Yeah, right?
My friends, why is my camera doing this? What is happening?
Hey, Hello? At least you're smiling this time.
Hello?
It's contagious, man.
Camera, hello?
Yeah, but somehow I'm in the middle of a snowstorm in the Northeast.
It's just loading. Hello? There we go. It's back. Okay. Just felt like working now.
We just got to do this a bunch.
What up? And then when it freezes, it's going to be like, oh, yeah, I don't know. But I was looking at Flesh and Blood because Rudy released a video talking about how amazing Flesh and Blood's doing and how excited he is that the game's doing so well. And I'm like, looking at the sales. And I'm like, there's no fucking... Wait. Not too late. I mean, there's no way that it's doing as well as he thinks it is. I think he's pushing it. I don't know exactly why he's pushing it. Maybe he likes the game. He doesn't even play the game, but he doesn't play any game. But
and it's interesting because
it feels like another meta situation.
It was like a year ago. I know him and James White had a little bit of a back and forth with Rudy had a very strong opinion of some of the print quality, I believe it was, of a set, and a couple of minor gripes here and there. So to hear him talking about the market is either one, a sign that he does pay attention to some stuff and is seeing some trend. But I saw the same video and most of his market movements were 5% or less, which even he calls pure market noise. So I don't know how much action there really is. So I think you might be onto something just as far as him to trying to lighten some bags.
I don't know. I know you can't really compare Flesh and Blood to Magic because Magic's a 30-year-old product and Flesh and Blood's not. But I mean, Magic right now, Aether Drift's not even out yet. It's still in pre-sale. It hasn't even officially launched yet. They've sold 4,000 boxes. Flesh and Blood's most recent set is over a week old. It's almost 2 weeks old now. It's a week and 2 days. And it's only sold 191 boxes. 191. And I mean, if we compare this to Star Wars Unlimited, for instance, you go to whatever their new set, I guess there's something called Jump to Lightspeed. This is a newer game than Flesh and Blood. It sold 51 boxes, and it's still pre-sale. So like it's already semi close to the Flesh and Blood. Twilight of the Republic. I think we looked at this last time. Twilight of the Republic sold like thousands. Yeah, 2,700.
Which surprises me because I don't hear a lot about the Star Wars trading card game all that much.
If we compare that to the Rosetta, which is the older set of Flesh and Blood, they only sold 164 in the last 3 months. We'll go a year. 443 in the last year. Yeah, I don't know. I think Flesh and Blood's a good game. I think that they need a 4-player format. They need to support a 4-player format. They're so concerned about 1v1 and I don't know. I really think they need a 4-player format. It's what's successful in Magic. I don't see why it wouldn't be successful in Flesh and Blood if they can make it work.
I have a different take on that.
But well, whatever they're doing right now, it ain't working. What's your take?
I think we're seeing evidence of when a company appeals mainly to the game piece army, right? That's been James White's stance, right? Let's make sure it's super available and in sufficient quantities, and we could see that when he released his print run numbers, which I did, and that's when our awesome, what's the one that looked like a circus tent? What's the box?
Oh, not Bright Lights. It was one of the ones in a paper pack. After Tales of Aria. I know what you're referring to.
Well, even Tales of Aria went Tango uniform. Even before that, Monarch went Tango uniform. And that's because, they didn't let it grow naturally with excitement and collectability still in it to some extent. Like there's a point where you want to get beyond the scalpers because it's not good. Like with the first box of
Everfest.
Yeah, Everfest. Excuse me. It's like we saw in Lorcana. It was unhealthy for the game because nobody could play it at any LGS because there wasn't enough quantity for people to get their hands on it, right? And they have also adopted the same print to complete demand, which I think is ultimately bad for them. And Rudy, I'll have to side with Rudy. There has to be a point at which you tighten the print quantities enough to maintain a collector demand as well as a player viability.
I'd be curious to know how many people actually collect these anymore. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm biased because I don't understand the collectible aspect of I just want to play the game. I don't care what the cards are. Like I print out every one of my cards on a piece of paper, and they're the exact same play piece that I don't know. It doesn't do it. I can pick my art. I can do everything I want. If I want them real cards, I can just have them printed.
Well, our own personal opinions don't change the facts
the wider market
the other people
right, but I'm curious to know how many people are similar to myself. Like if it's really a collectible game anymore, if it's more of just a normal game, and I'm curious to know.
Are you talking about Magic or Flesh and Blood?
TCGs in general. I want to know. I don't even know if we could if there is any kind of data, but like the number of collectors versus just players. I'd be curious to know that percentage.
Well, I think that Pokemon is almost all collectors.
I don't know anybody playing the game.
No, well, what surprises me, some of the stores that we stopped by when we were out your way, is that they mentioned they had a lot of tournaments, and it was not just for Magic the Gathering, but in fact, one place said they had Star Wars tournaments. There was another one saying that they did Flesh and Blood, and I believe there were some Pokemon players as well in some of these locations. But same thing, my store, the closest place within an hour only holds Magic the Gathering, and it's pretty much for only pre-release events at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I had that conspiracy theory. I don't know if you want to call it that, or in my opinion, we're seeing what scant proof this week about even Magic, speaking about pre-release events, that once upon a time, Arena released pre-release before stores could. And now releases are after store release. I think it's been that way for about a year. And I'm going to tell you right now, Magic's not going to change that for no reason. WotC's not going to change those dates intentionally for no reason. And they're not going to change it simply because the stores may have complained. It just makes sense. You know, like I said, people always bash on me about me saying that Arena is what's destroying Standard. And that's because people are getting it for free. You know, why pay the whore if she'll give it up for free?
And you know, as a little bit of time lapsed between when we were having that conversation, another thought of mine is it gives them another 2 weeks of dev time, which, you know, is not nothing, especially when you're talking about 10 weeks between sets nowadays. I mean, that's more than it used to be, but that's still not a lot of time to add in hundreds of new cards into a digital client.
You know what I think it is? I think it has nothing to do with what you guys have talked about so far. Okay. I think it's just to extend the hype of a new set. It's always fun. It's always exciting when a new set comes out. So when a new set comes out in person, people that like it playing in person, they're like, "Oh, hi, let's spread the word. Go to your LGS." And then when it comes out online, people that only play online are like, "Oh, dude, it's online. Everybody play online." That's what I think.
Well, that's actually not the worst idea in the world, because that's when the prices are usually crashing. You know, the set comes out, full market release, everybody has their hands on it. All the Timmy scalpers can finally get all their cards online. You see everything plummet. So you switch it over to the free format. You get them into the online so that the only true idiots that want to spend their digital money on their client, that's the ones you go after. The whales, the gamblers that have no you know, sense of being.
Yeah, I mean, the phone because it kept, I don't know what it was doing. It kept just like spinning. I don't know. Maybe it's good now.
You know, I think that the only way we would know for sure is if they shut down the Arena client and then to see if we have increased numbers of attendance at LGSs for standard events. I guess you could say Pioneer at this point.
I don't know if they would see a better attendance in person. I mean, number one, I just don't play Arena. I don't even know the last time I loaded it. Probably not even this year. So it's definitely not garnering any of my attention. If there were not an epic snowstorm and it being Saturday night, I probably would have gone to the pre-release, but such is life. I do actually plan on interacting with some of the physical product of this set, and that's definitely more than I would ever do with their online client at this point. So I don't know if shutting it down would actually be beneficial, but I also wonder, do they actually make money off of Magic the Gathering Arena?
I had initially planned to go, but my friends canceled, so I did not go.
I had no plans on going. Not at all. Not a set that appeals to me, but we do have, and I think we'll only announce this in the members only section. So that's right. We do have channel membership with benefits after this show. Every Saturday, you get at least 30 minutes of more focused chat, a little bit more unfiltered. You get content and ideas first, so you know we're thinking behind the scenes. And I'll tell you, Time Capsule is the one that's in the know by and large. So if you want to check out something that's upcoming on our channel, hopefully it'll be fun and interesting for everybody. But we've been bandying about a new idea. And I'll say it's an idea that gets Bob to buy product and crack it.
You actually need to buy it to do what we're doing? You can't just do with stuff you already got?
They'll have to tune in and help us figure out some of the finer details. That's one of the lovely things about the community we've been bolstering.
I got so many things that I could use. I'm Gucci. I don't need to get nothing.
You'll have to subscribe, Zombie, to find out. Not subscribe. I'm sorry. Become a member.
Yeah.
Become a channel member. $1 singular a month can get you all the access required.
Less than $12 a year.
No, it's going to be more than $12 a year.
With taxes.
With taxes. But I'm just saying.
Remember, the old tax man's coming. You gotta make sure you guys do your taxes this
year. Already done.
I haven't even had all my tax paperwork yet.
with all the bullshit with Elon Musk being like kind of part of the US government now and like accessing money, I wanted to get my taxes done as soon as humanly possible. That way there's still some left when I get, it's gonna be
he's got our best interest in his mind at all times. You know this. Every billionaire thinks of the little guy.
I was talking about the president, and I had that same thought. Yes, of course. The puppet show must continue, Matt.
Well, I don't even have all my paperwork, so I still have to wait.
I don't know if I have all my paperwork. I know I have my W-2s, and I know I got my
decap. I'm going to agree with you. I am not a fan of this set.
Come on. You're just hating on the new Avishkar name. I know it, Bob.
What?
Because it's not Kaladesh anymore. It's Avishkar.
Avishkar. I'll be honest. The actual theme of the set is pretty dog shit. But there are some banger cards in it. I'll tell you that. I've already made 2 decks of commanders from it, and there's like 2 more that I want to make. There's some really good commanders, very powerful, like CDH level, like just banger cards.
And that Gilded Lotus, we are definitely going to be seeing that around way too much.
Vegas.
I mean, Radiant Lotus.
Radiant Lotus, that's the one.
Shielded Lotus.
I don't think it's that good.
They should have called it Wheeled Lotus.
In all honesty, I think the theme was just chosen out of hat of like random IPs that they own. And they're like, Hot Wheels, perfect. Let's make a Hot Wheels set, put on a plane, and let's do a secret lair where all the cars look like they're in Hot Wheels too. Yeah, also
I don't even like the art.
There's a bunch of really ugly secret layers out right now too.
This souped up Mustang behind me just doesn't scream Magic the Gathering.
It's got like a shark strapped to the roof too. There's a bunch of weird stuff happening. I cannot disagree with you guys.
Yeah, it's probably my least favorite theme across all secret layers. Even like, I'd rather play SpongeBob than this, and that's weird.
Ugh, I hate to say it, but I'm definitely fine.
You mean set?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's on the level of secret lair, and it's the worst one. It's pretty bad for me. I don't know. It does very little for me. The max speed, the max speed thing, start your engines, all of that just sounds retarded. I don't ever want to say it. One of the commanders that I'm running, the Metacant core, he's really damn good, but he's got the start your engine mechanics, and I'm just like,
this is stupid. Yeah, it'd be cooler if it didn't have that. Yeah.
Can we call it like anything else?
Or have it function differently. It's unfortunate how long it takes.
It's okay. I mean,
it seems slow.
Metacant. Well, it's not. You can get it online on turn 3.
Oh, dude, actually, Decaf. That's a great point. They missed a huge opportunity to choose oil counters. Oh,
good call, Decaf. Way to go.
That is true.
One-upping us here on the show. Way to go.
Is exhaust new? Or is that a throwback?
Change your oil. Don't forget to change your oil. And
I don't recall exhaust before, but there was something before an exhaust mechanic, but I don't think it's the same.
Exhaust is a keyword in other games to tap your creature. I forget which game it is. It might be from Flesh and Blood to exhaust, or maybe it's another game.
No, that's exerted.
It's another TCG to exhaust your creature to do something.
Maybe it was Destiny.
I don't know. I just remember it's another game.
And this is why people tune in, because we are so knowledgeable.
At this.
Hey, if you guys want to talk about Stardew Valley, I can tell you when Leah's birthday is, but Magic the Gathering, pshaw.
I'll be honest with you. Like,
why are you doing this?
You would never guess the one thing that's my favorite thing from this entire set.
I want to say it's another new loot card because he's your favoritist.
Loot's so good. It actually is really good.
It is. It's broken good. But I was just doing it to troll Bob. Honestly, what is it? What has you pleased with this set, Bob?
It's not a card.
Ooh.
He likes the finish line foils, the yellow, the mustard on mustard. He loves
God,
it.
that is so bad. I don't even like that is the worst. Like I keep thinking they can't make uglier Magic cards, and then they go and
I mean,
totally
they're literally
redeemed
called
themselves.
the piss lands. Like it's yeah.
God. And the
I still want to see
goofy
them in
art.
person. I feel like they're not as bad in person.
The
But I
goofy
don't
what
know.
were there were like cards and bubblegum packs. I can't remember what they were back in the day. Like for Mad Magazine and shit, they had that goofy art they keep putting on Secret Lairs and saying, "This is good." And I'm like,
Yeah,
no, it's not.
I mean, I guess art is subjective, but
Sure.
when so many people are shitting on it, I don't know if it's that subjective anymore. If like the market is literally
It's like,
saying
you
this
know, I'm
is
talking
terrible.
about like the cartoon art with the big bulging eyes and the
Yeah,
it's like on like a solid print background, and it's like I don't want to. I don't even want to see that in a
reminds
binder.
me a lot of Outlaws at Thunder Junction, with there being almost an indecisiveness to the showcases and alternate arts that they did. It seems to me like there could have been almost a subset, like an Aftermath-esque product, and they just instead smashed it into this.
What is the showcase art in this one? Because I really don't know.
It's the
I think
finish
there's
line
like
foils.
there's like 4.
They're like alternate art finish line foils, basically. So like the yellow versions, but they're different. I don't think they have like the fancy foiling or whatever.
Okay. Next. Right? Like I don't know what to say about Aether Drift. You know what I am excited about Aether Drift?
What's that?
For it to be over so we can get to the Final Fantasy spoilers.
Shazam.
Like they're completely just dissing on Tarkir.
Oh, 100% Highway. Yeah.
Conspicuously absent from the hype picture whatsoever. So I don't think, they're all that really concerned about holding hype that way. But I am hyped to see what their direction is with Final Fantasy. And I wonder if they're going to give us any real look at it. Or if it's just going to be teaser for like months and months, ahead of time, like they've done for a few sets, like they did for Dominaria Remastered. Remember, they spoiled like a couple of cards like 6 months ahead of time.
It would make sense for them to want to keep people as interested or tuned into it for as long as possible. The second they put up pre-orders, that's when they should start marketing, or just a little bit before, in all honesty.
Well, that's because Pieway, that it's not cardboard conversations, it's cardboard converations.
Converations, man.
Come on, let's get it right.
I want to use the excuse that it was early. It wasn't. It was like 1 p.m. when I actually got my shit together to do this.
But thank you for pointing out our professional.
Right. Come
on. I appreciate that.
You drinking that early, Pat?
Wow. Well, we didn't catch it either. So
I don't look at the
Highway sure did, and I appreciate that. Call it out.
Good thumbnail too. This is a good image. I like that.
Is the spell right in the thumbnail?
Oh yeah, probably, because I just used an image of that I saved weeks and weeks and months ago.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious if it was not correct for weeks.
Oh yeah, right. The whole time.
Yeah.
Oh no, the bank account. Matt, what name did you put that shit in?
Ooh.
I think they do, Zombie. And the reason being is just the way that search engines work is that you have to keep it basically front of mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they start spoiling it and they keep dripping it a little bit for the next few months, and the search engine keeps getting hits on it, it's going to continue to keep that elevated at the time of release, right? So it'll keep it much more relevant for months.
I'm sure it'll help, but I don't think it needs the help. But I'm sure it doesn't. There's no reason not to do it.
Oh, speaking of no reason not to do it, Matt, when your boy comes through with an offer on the Final Fantasy, hit me up on that.
I don't know if he got. I mean, he either didn't tell. He told me there was nothing on the Crimson or not Crimson. Ravnica Remastered, or not Ravnica Remastered. What's the Innistrad Remastered? He had nothing for Innistrad Remastered, so I'm not sure if they do it for specialty sets. But if they do it, I'll let you know.
Sure.
Amazon, here I
come. I can get the login for it, but I just won't order stuff because I guess there's like some kind of like if you order to other people's houses or you add like other payment information, you can't like share the login because they'll like delete your account.
Oh,
because they don't want you sharing accounts.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
But I want to be able to like just look at what's available. You can buy stuff after the flash sales, but I don't know what the prices on stuff is. I'll have to ask him if I can get the. I'll send him a message now. But hey, can I get that login?
I mean, if you would, look, I'm not gonna cry if I miss anything in Magic anymore.
But Magic, I mean, I don't know. There's like of any Magic the Gathering set, I feel like the Final Fantasy one is
Spider-Man
up there with Lord of the Rings.
Spider-Man's going to be huge. Do not discount that.
I don't give two flips about Spider-Man, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's just your personal taste.
You know how many like target audience does? I mean,
right.
As many people with beards that play Magic the Gathering, there's a bunch of kids that are really into it. Believe it or not, they kind of focus on it. And I could definitely see with all the huge Spider-Man movies that like COVID babies grew up on, this is going to be a big set.
Oh,
as much as Final Fantasy is
shortchange yourself. For us. Spider-Man is one of the biggest comic books ever. Like, forget about just the Marvel Universe. Spider-Man itself is one of the largest.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And there's been like a huge renaissance. I pay attention to a lot of comic book stuff, and they've been doing these things called Ultimate. So, like, Ultimate Spider-Man is the most badass broken version of a Spider-Man across all the universes, and he literally just punches his villains to death. It is some of the most intense stuff. And yeah, for sure, Spider-Man still pops.
I'm sure millions of other people care about Spider-Man, and that's cool. I don't dislike Spider-Man. I've watched all the movies, but like it doesn't like do like I don't know, as a set for Magic, Final Fantasy rings more to me than anything Spider-Man could.
One of the biggest VR video games is Spider-Man. And that's got a huge following, and there are other Spider-Man video games that are just
it might be the least Magic the Gathering-esque set of the year, though. I mean, even if the unannounced Universes Beyond, if that really is Avatar: Last Airbender, that's more Magic adjacent than
Aether Drift.
Aether Drift. I mean, come on, those cars are all running off of energy. It's very Kaladesh.
Because before this, cars were such a huge part of the Magic lexicon.
Well, vehicles have been for quite a ways now, and this is part of like the new multiverse that they're trying to explore in Magic, where everybody's kind of coming together after the big event. After we finally got rid of those fucking planeswalkers. God, one of the worst decisions in Magic.
Dude, it's one
of the worst decisions in Magic to despark them. It's very stupid.
I hate planeswalkers. They're so annoying.
I think they vowed to only have one planeswalker per set going forward.
Nobody's special anymore. That's what I like.
Of one. There wasn't even a planeswalker. I mean, I guess the Aether Spark.
The Aether Spark.
It's not even. It's just an it. It's not even a. I don't think it's a thing. It's a thing, but it's not a.
It prefers them.
It doesn't have a gender. I don't. Never mind.
The lore. I was trying to listen to the historian about the lore of Aether Drift, and I not only could I not follow, it seemed just hot garbage and unconnected. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but he was talking about the response from Brandon Sanderson, if you guys are aware who he is. I know him.
Familiar.
He is a very famous author. Have you ever heard of the series called The Wheel of Time?
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
He finished that up for Robert Jordan after he died, which is a show that's being produced by Amazon. It's a big series, and he's made his own books and famous in his own right for writing and I don't know what they are, a bunch of high fantasy novels as well. And he's a huge Magic the Gathering player. He's been on the Command Zone talking about just how much garbage the lore of Aether Drift was. I mean, he was talking a little broader that they've just basically gone to a just nothing burger of a story and just co-opting other IPs, and that's what's pushing Magic forward. But the lore itself is just in this fail state, which is really strange considering the news that I learned this week about our complaint from last week, if you remember, Pat, was that they're not branching out in enough directions.
They're not utilizing the multimedia aspect of their giant company. And I was flabbergasted. I was floored, Bob. Honestly, I think I'm excited. I don't know why. It's going to be years from now before they get their act together, before they get their production done. Realistically, it's going to be mostly CGI. Let's be 100% honest here. Yeah, Magic the Gathering is going to make a live action movie. They're teaming up with Legendary Studios. They've recently done things like Pacific Rim. They were Inception, a phenomenal movie from their studio. Yeah, I mean, if that's going to be our entry point, is a movie of Pacific Rim quality, a solid turn your brain off, and we call it a 6. That is all I need for Magic the Gathering. Honestly,
I just want it to not be like a 2, like all the D&D movies.
I loved those, the most recent D&D movie and the original one from like the early 2000s with Michael Ironsides trying way too hard. That is so good in a bad way. The newer one, Honor Among Thieves, I thought it was a really good mix. It felt very D&D 5e, where they weren't trying like too hard for, the hardcore enthusiasts, but there was enough throwbacks.
I would much rather see something like a long version of what they just did. I keep forgetting the name of that short series on Amazon. What's that called?
Secret Level. Yeah.
Secret Level. I would much rather see like a Secret Level instead of, what was it, 28 minutes? Is that what it was? Something like that?
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
25, 28 minutes, somewhere around that point. And just turn that into a full on, just go ahead. Let's do a 90-minute. It doesnn't have to be like a 3-hour epic, but I'd watch 90 minutes of that. You know what I mean?
The goods.
What are we looking at? Aether Drift on Amazon?
No, this isn't Amazon.
Oh, this is the guy.
The sports website, yeah.
Dude, he can spork himself on that bottom one.
So $105 for Aether Drift boxes. And right now on TCG, we're looking at, I think they're like 120.
Oh, they dropped a couple bucks.
Plus taxes and shipping, you're looking close to 130.
Yeah, when I ordered mine, I got mine for, I think it was 104, 102. So from the pre-sale flash, they went up $3. So I saved a whole $3. I don't think they have the finish line bundle.
Well, you save $3 from then to now. Yeah, whereas like if you still compare it, that's like a 20% savings.
I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing I want to buy, the only thing I was interested in, as I alluded to earlier, is not even a card. It's the finish line die.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah.
I mean, you are a really big enthusiast in dice collecting. It's kind of a thing I noted.
In all, yeah, I am, but it's not even honestly for me though. I would like to get 1 or 2 for me, so I'm gonna wait until down the road when those dice drop to like $2-3 a piece. I just like order like 10 of them.
I've heard they're hard to read in person,
but it's mainly for a friend of mine who plays a board game. Talking about cardboard conversations, deviating folks here.
Cardboard Converations.
This is a conversation for sure.
Converations.
And I had a conversation last night. Went over to their house, and we even spoke about, showed them the die for it. He plays a game called Formula D, and it's like a race car game.
Yeah.
And you have all kinds of different sided die. It's kind of like shifting gears. As you go up higher in the gears, you move more spaces, and you roll a higher die.
Do they use a D20 in that?
They do.
Oh, cool.
So I think that would be a great D20 substitution for him. And it's even like the penalty die.
There was a TV show called Formula D, and it was literally just wicked cool drift cars. And it was just like an hour-long program weekly of people on a track just going out and drifting some of those badass like street cars. Yeah, so it's cool that there's a board game based on it. It's got to be a fun time.
Yeah, you have different racetracks that you can play on. You get this really tiny little car that's about 3/4 of an inch long and about 1/4 of an inch wide, and you're all competing, to race, and you can choose not to downshift as you go into corners, but then you take like damage if you overshoot the corner, and if you end within one space of another car, you have to roll. Both of you have to roll what's called a danger die, and you have hit points on your car, and you lose hit points, like I said, for overshooting your corners, for ending close to another player, that kind of stuff. And the danger die just happens to be the D20 as well. So,
danger.
Hey, what's up, Dual Brain? So, yeah, I mean, so Aether Drift does have something for me. It's just kind of flukish.
It's just a handful of dice you're gonna buy on eBay for like $4.50.
I have two Finish Line bundles still pre-ordered. I don't know if it's already shipped or not.
Well, I do have those countdown clickers. I did get the 10 of them in for the Foundations. Not a bundle. What was that? A starter kit? Not.
They had so many products.
Yeah.
One of their SKUs that had the life clicker spin down thing. So I do have those. It's actually sitting in my dice tower. So you boys will get those next time I see you.
That's what I've always wanted. I actually did want to grab those, but you said you bought
10
of them.
You did say you wanted one. You literally
you said you bought 10 of them. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll get one next year whenever I see them.
But that's something I really want.
I really want a triple one. Jimmy is part of some. I guess he was like I don't know if it was a Patreon. I think it was just maybe he just followed him on Facebook. He was like, it was a guy that 3D prints the 3D clickers. And I guess he won. Like he shared one of his posts, and he actually won one of the giveaways for one of them. It's pretty nice.
Oh, cool.
I have a triple 3D clicker. We used it for many times.
Yeah, but the quality on the one that he got is like way better.
Thanks.
I'm just saying the one that you got was like, kind of gimped.
The one I printed?
It wasn't the best of quality. It worked. It functions, but the one that I'm talking about is like it's pretty clean.
Yeah. It's not the best.
Hey, it's like my father used to tell me, just because I made it doesn't mean it's better than any of the other ones.
But yeah, I mean, Aether Drift, unfortunately, I think is just going to be not a great set. And from what I'm hearing from other people that are collecting data on it, the sales are not great. Stores are canceling their orders, and it's kind of an ugly scene. And I'm still hoping, I'm still actually hopeful, and I'm going to pay very close attention to something that's coming up that I mentioned to you, Pat, a little earlier, to both of you. Actually, I posted it in our private chat there on, I believe it's the 20th.
Yeah.
Do you have that screenshot that I sent us?
Yeah.
I don't have it handy.
I'll pull it up now. It's on the 20th, though.
I think I also gave the link.
Man, we were talking a lot in the last day or so.
Well, we tend to do that closer to the weekends usually, or unless there's some hot topic.
Reformat for vertical streaming.
Yeah, that's always such a pain, man.
Man.
This somehow needs to be better, like easier for content creators, Oh,
I forgot to tell you guys. Remember that that email that we got about joining a vertical live stream exclusive?
Yes, from YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, we got accepted.
Oh, so it wasn't a hoax. So that's great. It's like
I'd already confirmed it with YouTube support that it was a real thing.
Okay, so this is one of the things that I probably do more than really any content creator that I know is I read through this, right? I read through these, I look at the numbers, I try to crunch them, I try to interpret from understanding that this is corporate speak and realize that this is targeted towards investors, not people who play the games or buy the products. This is targeted towards investors. So you have to look at it through those lenses, right? And what they're trying to say to their investors. Now, you can glean a lot of the impact that has happened and sort of project what will happen, because they do talk about projections in these as well. They talk about the direction that they intend to take, programs that they intend to release to drive more revenue, and interpret that as you will. It won't be on this announcement, but in the actual release is where you're going to get more of that detail. Now, a lot of people definitely TLDR would put them to sleep, and really don't give a shit to try to analyze what's being said or what the numbers actually mean, or compare it to previous quarters to see, okay, what does this mean in a directional sense? And I'm hoping that the new WotC head honcho, new president of WotC, is trying to turn the company in a more responsible direction. Part of that would be what Matt has stated that he believes is truth. I'm hoping that it bears out. And that's that they do cut the print run numbers on something at a minimum, cut them on the collector boxes, that will add at least some value there somewhere. There's some harbor for people that want to have something rare and valuable that only becomes more rare and valuable over time, for collectability, and products that, that's a product that has collector only prints in them as well, which creates its own, for Dual Brain out there, it creates its own pseudo reserve list. Now, it is forced scarcity, but it's something. It's better than nothing, which is what we've seen for years, which is why a lot of those early aged collector boxes aren't holding their value nearly as well, because I think there was unrestricted printing on them. So I think that at least that would be one step in a better direction, recognizing it. I think that having the pre-release on Arena after the stores is a step in the right direction. I think at this point they really need to give us more transparency to try to reestablish some trust that they have clearly broken. Not a Bob statement, but from many sources, people have lost faith in WotC and Hasbro, including the D&D community. And I think that they've got a long road ahead of them to repair damage that's been done in the last 5 years, not just the rampant reprinting.
I would agree, like, wholeheartedly across the board on that. Yeah. And it's definitely going to be interesting. The result of the upcoming broadcast is going to be interesting. I don't know how much of the market call itself I'll find totally interesting.
I tend not to listen to it. I read the transcript, to be honest with you. I've listened to a little bit, but to be quite frank, it's usually Chris Cox that talks on that.
Pauper Masters, get out of here with that decaf. At that point, like, it's not often I just buy the real cards because they're cheaper than proxying, but that might be one of the reasons. Like,
the Pauper Masters set where, like, it has like special versions of every single Pauper card.
No, that's what they should do for Halloween. It's Pauper Masters, but it's just the packs that they give away to trick-or-treaters because it's just full of commons.
They did make Pauper Masters.
Play booster, or what is it called?
Value packs.
Value packs.
You just can't find them anywhere.
Yeah, that's a rare product.
If I ever
it is. That's why I said I would, if he can get his hands on them, I'll take some off his hands.
That's the thing, is I don't know if I've ever seen that. I've definitely never seen them in real life. That's for sure. And the further we get away from, what was it, Bloomborough? Yeah, we're just never going to see those. That's going to be harder for Ed to get on his wall, 3 of those, than anything else probably at this point.
I wouldn't say that, but
in the last year, as far as like recent modern Magic the Gathering products.
Sure. I mean, there's going to be some OG stuff that's absurd for him to try to get his hands on.
Oh yeah, especially in like those crazy displays. He went all out, and that he's on it.
Yeah, Dual Brain's got something interesting. Yo, what's up, Coach?
What up, Coach?
But yeah, I honestly, so if anybody out there has some of those value packs unopened, reach out to me. I'll probably take them off your hands.
Oh. Right? We've made worse financial decisions.
True.
Okay, whatever you got to do, Coach. We appreciate your support. You know that.
He must be on mobile, because when I do that, my
I have
TV
no
just
idea
gets
how the
smudgy
mobile
as
works for
shit.
this.
Yeah.
This is us acquiescing to YouTube's because I hate this vertical format with a passion.
So I did just realize with Windows 11, when you try and like resize a screen, you can split it into those 3 vertical segments. If you just choose the middle one, it's perfect for vertical.
Okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's what is commonly known as Windows being Windows.
Okay,
when you take a like a tab that you have like of like any kind of
if
like
you're on
window,
Windows 11
and you like slam it to the top, and then there's like a little bar that'll drop down. You can like pick how you want it to like look.
Nope.
You might be on 10
11,
still.
then
No, I'm on 11.
Yeah, you take a window, you hit it to the top, and there's like multiple different like
Okay,
ways.
gotcha. That it finally came up.
Or if you hover over the min max buttons.
Got it.
Yeah, that's
it finally. But as soon as you drag it out of there, then it resizes it. What the F?
It's going to take a little bit of fiddling, but that's something we like to do here on the channel is fiddle with each other.
Oh, wow. No.
They call me the fiddler for some reason.
They call me the fiddler.
Nope.
I'm known as the tickle chicken.
Yeah, okay.
No, I was watching people play
episode?
Ark earlier, and
not a lot, really, Coach.
Great episode.
Kind of bashing on Aether Drift a little bit. Nothing. I mean, I'll be honest with you, and we spoke about this, Pat. You mentioned it in the private chat, and you're seeing it across the board with a lot of content creators. The Fiddler's Place. It's going to be kind of a desert for a while for Magic. It's not going to be a lot of content.
It's just shy of 9 weeks, I think it is, before the next release, and who gives a shit about Tarkir? Like, yeah,
even,
you didn't even know what it was, Matt.
Too. I think Tarkir is probably more. It's bounds more exciting than Aether Drift.
I mean, Ugin's coming back, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we might see a progression in the story after I blow my nose.
I think that's one of the things that is kind of a dynamic change in the last 5 years or so with Magic. How they've actually been trying to like push the story forward more. How the de-sparking of planeswalkers, the merging of the multiverses. Now there's like such incredible planar travel. We're seeing a lot more variations of some of the same characters on different planes. I think going forward, that's going to be an interesting thing as we go back and we revisit different planes. So as much as I didn't care about Dragons of Tarkir or Cons of Tarkir or whatever the third one was, if there was, going back and seeing how things have changed, because I don't have much nostalgia for it, it is an opportunity for newer players and people coming back that never experienced it to have a new vision of it. Avishkar wasn't a great Kaladesh. I'll certainly give him that. So this was definitely a stumble off of the block, but could be good. Could be. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it could be fun.
Nico Bolas coming back too. We'll see some interesting power creep, almost certainly on this. I mean,
well,
Dragons.
I think what Decaf getting at. Maybe I'm wrong, Decaf. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but I think that Ugin's coming back and Tarkir, maybe. I heard that he's coming back soon. And didn't Ugin sacrifice himself to destroy Nico Bolas?
Yeah, just a minor setback.
I mean, if the sacrifice means nothing and he can just come back, it's kind of odd to me. But then Nico Bolas coming back would also be odd. So,
or for marketing purposes, both of them comes back. Wizards takes it on the chin and just sells product.
But don't they both have the spark? Are they desparked?
Maybe they will. If they die, maybe they get like it's one indestructible counter, and they spend their spark on not losing their soul to the abyss or whatever.
So at least that'll be something interesting to talk about at a minimum, Decaf. Like,
yeah, we're trying. I mean, if you want, we could just 5 minutes on video games.
I'm playing Terraria with my buddy.
Oh, we're not going to see Matt for a long time.
Yeah, we're kind of cruising.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've gotten back into D2 Resurrected Reimagined, which is a mod. It's a modded version.
Yeah, it's a good mod.
I've heard you guys talk about that. What is the I played a lot of Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction when I was younger. What do you see as the big difference that is such a draw between like the vanilla and this?
It doesn't take a million years to progress and do anything. That's what's great for me.
It's power creep, but there's like, wow, so many more pieces of equipment, but they make bullshit builds like the Necro Summoner build far more viable. It's just like stuff that you never thought about. You could either go the standard routes and the things that were kind of busted Uber already. You can play those like a Blizzard Sork is, stupid powerful. But they double up the mob density in it as well. So there's twice as many mobs everywhere. Anywhere that one mob can spawn, it's 2, So it makes early on sometimes the game a bit more of a challenge. The unfortunate part is it's only solo. So there's only single player, no multiplayer. That kind of sucks.
Definitely a better thing for me. I like most video games solo.
I'm pretty sure they're in the process of making multiplayer.
But they have a shitload more. I mean, they have like over 1,000 cube recipes.
Wow.
They have a lot of convenience of life things where like the gems, they have these like stackers that you just collect them on. And so they don't soak up your inventory. Same thing with runes. And they're actively developing on it. So there are other things that are in there, like orbs that will turn a rare into a unique. But they have so many more uniques. They have like hundreds more uniques, hundreds more rune words. So it's very interesting to play Diablo in just ways that you never have really before. So there's a lot of like, I can build.
Are there any like graphical overhauls? I know, Matt, that's something you're really into. Okay, cool.
No, but they added some new items, which make it interesting. You can also
it's still reimagined art. Like it's not the shitty version of the game.
The original.
Yeah.
You mean it's the resurrected version?
Yeah, it's the
Matt, to your point though, speaking of shitty art, I started playing Minecraft again.
Gross.
So
it's okay, you'll get off that in the next couple days.
Okay, in all honesty, playing that on a 48-inch OLED TV does not make it look any better. Like
I would imagine it would make it worse.
It is just I went into the graphic settings and I was like, everything's already on as high as it could be. Like
there are skins you can put on it though.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna take.
You can only put so much lipstick on a pig. It's not.
And I was washing dishes the other day and I was thinking to myself, if I could only play one game ever for the rest of my life, if they continue to get updates, what would it be? Like Terraria definitely came across my mind very early on. Minecraft as well. There's so much you can do. People build computers in Minecraft, for God's sakes. I don't know. That's a tough one. Bob, would Diablo 2 be the game you play forever?
It would certainly make my I can't say that for certain, but it would make like my top 5 to reduce from.
Yeah.
In there, I'd probably throw World of Warcraft.
I could understand that. That seems like it would be a dangerous game to get into.
I would love to see a PC version of Zelda, almost like an MMO Zelda.
Oh.
I think that a World of Zelda kind of MMO would just take the gaming world by storm.
Satisfactory. I mean, I know it's a newer game, and that definitely sucked me in. Like I want to play it, and I just know every time I look at the hundreds of hours I've put into it already, it's dangerous if I get back into it.
Yeah, coaches. I ordered 2 collector boxes of Aether Drift and a play box. But I got them for such a good price that I don't even really, unless somehow, I mean, I guess they could go lower than like Crimson Vow, but I've got a buddy that has like a login for one of these distributor websites, the MVP Sports Games website. So I got Aether Drift collector boxes at 189 shipped and play boxes at 102 shipped. So I'm basically, I think every set I'll probably end up just buying 2 collector boxes just to have it sit on the shelf and do nothing with. It's gonna be sad, but whatever. It is what it is.
It's not gonna be sad. It's not gonna be sad. What the fuck's sad about that?
Sad to not play the fucking game. I don't know. I
open them. Keep one, open one.
That's even more sad. It's more sad. That's the problem. It's just sad. The whole TCGs in general, just the whole state of them are just.
Oh,
sad.
decaf. Enter the Gungeon. That is a game I come back to very often. That is one of the most premier roguelites I think ever made. And they continued to put out updates for years after its release. If they continued doing that, if they built in more synergies, if they had like a leveling up system in it, that's what I mean. If they continue developing for a game, what game would you want to play forever? I guess people will just have to tune into the after show to hear us mull about this and many other topics.
And how do they do that, Pat?
Well, I mean, for the low price of 99 cents a month, plus whatever bullshit YouTube's getting off of them, let's say for like $1.10 a month. Yeah, you get 30 minutes minimum afterwards. Last week we went for like an hour and a half, longer than the regular show.
Not a promise that we'll do that again, but
yeah, right. So just click the join. You become a member. You get to be one of these cool people like Time Capsule throwing up all these awesome logos. So, yeah. Until next week, we've been Cardboard Odysseys. Tune in, tune out, keep being awesome. Make sure to dance. I got nothing else. I mean, I try. I really do.